And welcome back. We're here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
And I feel spoiled.
Why are you spoiled?
We watched a movie recently.
Oh, yeah. I'm using my trailer voice.
Oh.
Let's talk about this movie.
So, we watched Nosferatu from late last year, a few months ago.
Oh, yeah. I was behind the times. I fucked up by not actually watching it when it came out.
And, today's a little bit of a different format. We watched the movie before we're reviewing it. We'll go over that. We'll have we'll have a mini review of this.
Yeah.
We'll go over some expectations of the next film we're going to be watching. We'll step into the time machine, watch the movie, come back, and then talk about that one.
Yeah.
But first, we are talking about Nosferatu. And what were some of your expectations going into this film?
Well, so I did a pretty big dive into Robert Eggers' filmography. I had originally seen The Witch when it came out.
And I loved that film.
Me too. It was insanely eerie, and, I think a couple of things really ring true with both of those movies, even though they're not, similar in content, but, like, the atmosphere, and I'm going to say this for Nosferatu, we don't need to review The Witch, but I loved The Witch when I saw it originally.
Yes.
And so I just kind of lost track of him. So I did not see, like, The Lighthouse at the time.
The Northman.
But, when watching Nosferatu, like, I have a pad that I was going to take notes on. And I got about 15 to 20 minutes into the film, and I honestly just threw it aside because the thing that I really liked about it, and same thing with The Witch, same thing with The Lighthouse, honestly. Like all of his films, the atmosphere is absolutely palpable.
Absolutely.
You can feel what you're doing. Like in Nosferatu, there wasn't a lot of like really crazy camera moves, but like every single frame of the film, you could freeze it and it was a painting that you could put on your wall. It was aesthetically beautiful, while still being dark and while still being, there's a lot of muted colors and stuff like that. So it's not insanely colorful, but it's still very beautiful. It was, anytime you went to a new location, you could feel it. It was, the smoke in the room, the darkness, and we were talking about this the other day briefly, but it made perfect sense, and you brought this up, but, the darkness was very visible, even though It was very dark. It was not hard to view the movie. It was very clear. So
I watched this in a room with windows during the day, and I could still see what was in the dark. There was definition and there was detail. The backlighting on some of these characters in some of these wide-angle shots, I was just amazed. Like, how did they... How?
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and you could do a technical breakdown of the cinematography of this film, and
I'm not smart enough to do that.
And make a class out of it, because this is masterful. You mentioned atmosphere, which this movie is staunchly dripping in. I mean,
every frame is.
It's the set design is immaculate. There's no wasted space in any of these frames. There's thought in every detail.
Yep.
And that makes exactly what you said. You could take any frame of this, pause it at any random moment, close your eyes, fast forward to 4 times the speed, and pause it at a random spot, and you could take that frame and put it on your wall as a piece of art.
I literally, that was one of the things that made me drop the notes. Because after a while, once I got into it, I was like, holy shit. This movie, I was literally captivated pretty much from Jump Street. And it was beautiful. Like, the acting is very stylized, but I understand that can be a turnoff for some. But, like, for me, it's not a problem at all, because it wasn't sort of hearkening back to Megalopolis. Mm-hmm. One of my criticisms of Megalopolis, I liked Megalopolis. I thought it was good. But they had this weird in and out of the stylized acting.
Yes.
And different people were kind of doing different things.
Yes.
So to me, it kind of was a little bit jarring where I couldn't get in it.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Nosferatu, I feel like across the board, everybody's sort of in with that. It's a little, what word did you use? Melodrama?
This is a modern swing at taking melodrama seriously, which we haven't had done in decades in cinema.
But it worked. To me, it worked.
Absolutely.
There was no, I was in it. I did not, whereas Megalopolis, sometimes it would kind of jerk me out of it when, like I just, the only one I can remember specifically that really like jarred me was like, when Aubrey Plaza's scenes would come up.
Yes.
And it was like, it would just kind of pull me out of it. That never happened with this. So I was really able to soak in the story as well. And that was another thing that really struck me as well. I didn't feel like that it suffered from excess bloat. The story moved along well. I thought every scene, for the most part, was moving the story along, and I didn't feel like there was, there's a lot of films that I've seen recently. A good example, which we might talk about at some point, but I'll just throw it out there because it's new, is The Substance.
Yeah.
Great movie, and I really liked it. Same thing.
I have not seen that one.
Stylized acting where everybody was in it, so it works. Everything about that movie to me worked a lot, but especially like the final sequence. And there's a couple of little things throughout the film where it was way stretched out. And so to me, it got a little bit where it's like, man, you could have really cut a little bit off this and it would have just made the plot a little tighter. And it would have moved along.
With this, the very moment that I felt, oh man, this might be dragging right here, it kicked into third gear. They were coming back from some spot. I'm not 100% sure where it was, but they were all in the carriage with Willem Dafoe, and they were talking. And
yeah, it's like heavy exposition to get to the climax.
I'm saying the very moment the thought entered my mind of, oh, this might be boom, it switched, it changed, and we were into heavy action sequences at this point. A lot of climactic rising action. And that was great. So, I mean,
the climax wasn't overly drawn out either.
No.
It was to the point, it happened, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like even story-wise, Megalopolis was very similar to that, too. There were a lot of, like, overindulgent spots where it's like, man, it really just kind of, I start to get out of it a little bit. Whereas if we would have kind of moved on to the next sort of real plot point or beat, I feel like it would have kept me in it a little better. But this didn't really do that.
Yeah.
Like, even the exposition scene, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree. But once they really got the necessary information out, it did. It moved on. It didn't stick around where there was just a bunch of fluff. There were some things, to be honest with you, earlier in the film where maybe they moved on faster than you might expect. But to me, I'd prefer that over staying too long. If that makes sense. Like,
absolutely.
That part of it, the look of it, obviously amazing. Whether it's set design, costume design, lighting, cinematography, actual directing of it, the writing of it. You can tell, and this might be total horseshit, so like, don't quote me on this. But if I recall correctly, I feel like Eggers wrote the script for this quite a while back, right? It's something that he was gonna do, maybe before this, and then he ended up doing these other movies instead. I feel like that was what it was. That might not be accurate, but,
So development began in 2015. Eggers planned to make it his second film. He described it as a passion project, opted to delay the production. Cast in 2022, filming took place 2023.
Yeah. So, but I think the thing is, though, you had a long time to marinate on the script as well. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so it's not like you're going into it.
I mean, 8 years?
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Well, and not that this is anything like, this is kind of a separate thing, but I won't delve too much, but the one thing I'm hopeful for with, like, even the very corporate DCU, the James Gunn verse or whatever, the big thing he keeps touting is like, yo, we're not going into production until we have a script that we're happy with. Versus, how big giant tentpole movies go. A lot of times, like, there's not a real complete script, and then they're doing all these revisions on the fly. It equals, sometimes, your story suffers for it. So I at least appreciate that this dude had the time to develop this script, to really take multiple passes through it and really tighten it up.
And it seems like he's got a good visual team worked out between him and his cinematographer.
100%. Holy shit.
I don't know if I'm saying this name correctly. Jaron Blaschke is the director of photography and the cinematographer for this project. And for all of Eggers' projects, it seems like he's done The Witch, he's done The Lighthouse, he's done The Northman, and he's done Nosferatu. Among others, he did Knock at the Cabin with M. Night Shyamalan, Down a Dark Hall with Rodrigo Cortez, Shimmer Lake with Oren Uziel? And, but my God, the team of Eggers and Blaschke is just beautiful. I can't wait to see what else they come up with, because if these two keep working together, we're looking at, you know, a modern day greatness team.
Well, and overall too, I would say to anyone, like, even if you watch this movie, and this is what's great about it as well, this is what to me really made it a really great piece versus just a good piece. No matter what, even if you watch this film and you're kind of out of it with the performances, or you're out of it with X, Y, or Z, there is no denying that this movie will have been worth a watch, just for a multitude of reasons. Whether it's, you know, it is set design, or it's cinematography, or it's, you know, whatever it is, even if you don't like all of it and it's not for you, it's not a wasted 2 hours to watch this film. That is what I would say overall. That would be my overarching thing. I will say, and this is not a spoiler, but the mustache to me was a little bit was a little odd, but other than that, that's really minimal. But like, no matter what, if you watch this movie, it's the same thing with The Witch. I would say that too. One of the things I liked about it is, no matter what, even if it doesn't do it for you and it's not your bag, you're not going to walk away from it being like, oh well, I just threw away 2 hours. It's still worth a watch.
Yeah. Any critiques that you have? Are there any specific things? I've got a few things written down, and they're not big. The nun/church scene, where they kind of gave you most of Orlok's backstory.
Yep.
And they kind of explain what Thomas has to go and do, what his new role is, basically. That did feel a bit rushed. Like, maybe there was 2 or 3 minutes extra that would have helped. That cut out somewhere. I don't know, pre-production or something. It just seemed like boom, 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 and then off to the next part. And I was like, wow, that was quick.
Sure. Yeah.
Beyond that,
I was honestly referring to that earlier too. That's one specifically where it was like, that might have been helpful to have just a little bit. I would prefer to lean on the tight and fast side versus it being overbloated for fucking sure.
Absolutely.
But I agree with that. That could have been fleshed out a little bit, and it might have taken a little bit of the juice out of Thomas's role.
Yes.
Long term in the story.
And at first, I wasn't really clear what was going on whenever we had the ship transporting Orlok's, I guess his casket.
Yeah.
From Transylvania or wherever to England, or was it in England? Was it in America?
I think it was Germany. Actually
Germany.
What it was.
You're absolutely correct. At first, I was like, "Is this a flashback?" I'm not really sure what's going on here. I mean, I realized, that there's a plague on the ship, that they were transporting him, and I was thinking, like, well, is this how he got here? And then I remembered, oh, he bought a house.
Yeah,
he's traveling to go and get his house. And okay. So I don't know if that was just me, my attention span just kind of failing in a small moment that I didn't realize what was going on there. But
well, there's also this is Nosferatu, the original film, and this. I mean, this is obviously like kind of based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, right? So
the original Nosferatu film was an unlicensed take off of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I don't know if it was Bram Stoker's family, his estate, whatever. They sued the makers of Nosferatu, and they had the film completely burned off. All of the film stock burned off and removed from screening. I mean, they had the film destroyed. And it wasn't until the 70s or 80s where Nosferatu became watchable to the general public again, because of it was considered lost media for 50 years or so.
Yeah, well, and that what I was going to say too, like the whole voyage and stuff. To me, I automatically correlate all the characters, right? You know, so obviously Thomas is Harker. You know, that the real estate guy ends up being the Renfield, sort of. Even though they don't play it like to the letter, it's not exactly. I'm using air quotes here.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much is. You know, Willem Dafoe is obviously the what's his name, the vampire hunter.
Van Helsing?
Van Helsing. He's the Van Helsing, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever. So it's like you have those, like, parallels to me that kind of kept me... It kept me on track as far as the story goes.
Yeah.
You know, Lily Rose Depp is the... whatever her name is.
My God, she has the possessed convulsion dancing strangeness. Those moves, she's got those down pat.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like it hurts to do, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, and her performance specifically, I think, is going to be one that will be for some people and some people not. I thought everybody was good, including her. I'm not shitting on her.
Oh, no. I thought she did a great job.
But her performance specifically, I think, is the one due to a lot of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And how... it's kind of a singular performance amongst a group of everybody else is kind of...
She is probably the most melodramatic in her performance.
Yes. And all of the weirdness that comes along with being under
Skarsgård is pretty out there as well.
Of course. But you can expect it, and he has the look of it as well. So it's not like... that doesn't take you out of it, but I can understand how hers specifically, especially air quotes, when she's under the influence of Orlok or whatever, I understand why people might be like, whoa. Because it is sometimes really jarring.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes out of nowhere sometimes. And, you know, like the weird, like you're saying, the convulsing thing, it's kind of like...
I mean, and let's not walk around it. This movie has some extremely sexual scenes.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I mean, this isn't a kids movie.
No,
at all. There's allusions to orgasms, and there's actual sex scenes. But I will say, for the first time in ages, the sex scenes were integral to the plot of the film.
Yeah. You
needed those sex scenes to move along the piece, because it was so without giving anything too much away.
Sure.
It was part of an overarching story plot, and it was part of the finale as well, which there's heavy foreshadowing about that I didn't catch at all until the end happened. And I guess we could spoiler this. I mean, who's
well, it's 3-4 months old at this point.
There's a double death scene at the end that I didn't see coming.
Oh,
we could say that much.
Yeah, sure.
And I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
That was some good writing there.
The sex scenes, though, to be honest with you, they were not overly gratuitous for sex appeal.
They're
either.
Weird. There's some of them are grotesque even.
Yeah, it's not something where it's like, oh, well, I'm a corporate suit and I just need to see this chick naked because we need to, like sell the sex of it. It definitely was not. It was 100% integral to the plot, but also too, it's like they were very specific as far as like there was some of it was grotesque and it wasn't anything that was sexy per se.
It's actually so I watched this with my wife, and while she didn't dislike the movie, she said that's the reason that she probably won't ever watch it again. Yeah, because it is disturbing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. They did not hold back on that stuff either, but it also like I say, it wasn't. You could tell it was something that needed to happen. And that also is a good thing to me, because you do have in a lot of films where it's just simply, we're going to get this chick naked because it will put some extra asses in seats and stuff. And it's like, I get it, I guess, from the marketing standpoint, but it's like, it's not the big thing for me these days, especially in the world of, and I was talking about this on Megalopolis as well, but in the world of, megacorps that have sucked up all the studios, and now, there's just a lot of, superhero movies and this and that and this. It's like, that's fine. I'm not shitting on that, but you want these original pieces that are whatever they are. Even if we have criticisms of them, that's fine. I'll take that, and I'll take that good story any day over just a hack job where it was just, we have to hit these things. We need a sex scene. We need a big explosion.
Mm-hmm.
We need a car. We need a we got to tie in this whatever. I understand all that, and it is what it is. But I want to go into a movie and see a story.
Yes.
I want a story being told. And I'll take that any day over any of that other shit.
It's fascinating as well because we did get a lot of those things, those box ticks in this. We got it.
Sure.
But
it was never. It never felt like it was done for the sake of that.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference.
Good writing.
You can tell.
Good writing.
You can 100% tell when shit like that is in there for the sake of doing it because we need to, we have to please X sponsor. We have to, tie in this thing, or we have to, it's like, we need an explosion at this time because the male demographic of 18 to 36 needs to see it or whatever. It's like that is just story killers in my opinion. 100%. So,
I mean, from top to bottom, this is a must-see for any fan of horror, and I'm gonna go a step further. I've made, I haven't hidden the fact that my favorite films are the Roger Corman, Vincent Price, Edgar Allan Poe, Corman cycle films of the 60s that cemented the style of macabre horror. A style that hasn't been done at least since then, in 30, 40 years now. And I feel like this is a true return to the style and form of macabre. I absolutely loved the style and feel of this film. And I honestly, I can't say it enough. This team of Blanchke and Edgars are absolutely phenomenal. This is a team. This is your modern day John Carpenter, Dean Cundey. This is your modern day Steven Spielberg, Janis Kaminski. This is a team of visual masters that are going to go on and make more masterpieces as long as they like each other and like to work together.
Yeah.
And
no question.
This was a great film. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say, and I'll just kind of add to what I said earlier. Even if no matter what, if you enjoy films for any reason whatsoever, you will take something from this film, even if it ends up not being your bag.
If you like,
for sure.
If you like stylized acting, this is the film for you.
Yep.
If you like immaculate lighting, this is the film for you. If you like masterful camera work, this is the film for you. If you like stunning directing, if you like a vision that is perfected, achieved, and put on film, this is the film for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say it enough. You should go and watch this movie if you can. Currently, it's free on Peacock.
Yeah.
And you can rent it and buy it on physical copies in the store. You can get digital on Amazon.
Yeah, you can find it.
It's very easy to find. Nosferatu 2024, directed by Roger Eggers.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers.
But Roger. That might be his evil twin.
2024, Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers.
I like Roger. I think we just stay with Roger.
Yeah, I think I'm going to cut that and make it sound like I did good there.
No. You gotta just go with Roger. I'm gonna call him that from now on.
Roger Eggers. Oh, yeah.
Roger Eggers.
All right. Well, it is time to talk about what we're going to go and see. We are about to go watch The Monkey.
The Monkey. I honestly have no as far as expectations go. We saw that movie by that director.
Oz Perkins.
Yeah, what was the movie?
Long Legs.
Yeah.
With Nicolas Cage.
Which was good.
That was a wild movie, and we podcast that. Is that the previous episode to this?
I think so.
Okay.
So, but that was good. So I'm looking forward to it. That the guy that's the lead actor in it as well. His name's Theo something.
Theo James.
Theo James. That guy, what I know him from specifically is the Guy Ritchie series, The Gentleman.
And that is a great series.
Fantastic. And that dude rules, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That's a type of series, actually, that I wouldn't normally go out and try and watch. My wife watches every series that go on every streaming service.
Yeah.
You know, she pick any streaming service and she'll have to scan for an hour before she finds something she hasn't seen. Well, she put this on, and I mean, immediately it caught my attention, and we binged the whole thing right there.
Well, it felt to me like classic Guy Ritchie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It harkened back to Lock, Stock, and Snatch and stuff like that. So that was what was appealing to me, because like Guy Ritchie's films, I think he's a great director, but like some of his films have gotten off for me that I didn't care for. But like with this movie, that guy is in it, Theo.
Yes, Theo James.
Theo James. I don't know why I can't remember his last name.
It is one of my favorite actresses of all time is actually in this as well, Tatiana Maslany.
Okay, sweet.
She's amazing. She was in a series called Orphan Black, where she was basically a girl who was cloned a bunch of times, and she played every single one of her clones. Towards the end of the series, there's like 12 of her, and they all have very, very different personalities, and she plays them all to where you would believe that's who she is in every day. So I'm excited to see her again because she's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Adam Scott is in this, Elijah Wood, Sarah Levy. So
sweet. Yeah, I didn't even know that those people were in it. I've tried to like actively not know anything. I know it's like adapted from a Stephen King or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's produced by James Wan, who was basically the creator of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's got some horror money behind it. Osgood Perkins, we've seen his work, and we know he's a really good director. It is based on 1980 Stephen King's short story, and Stephen King. I saw him post on Instagram that he was really happy with how this turned out.
Oh, sweet.
So
yeah, I hope it's good. Like I really tried to. I saw like maybe the teaser for it, not even on purpose. I didn't want to watch it because I knew we were talking about checking it out. But like, I also have tried to stay away from like full blown trailers just because I wanted to go into it like super fresh.
Honestly,
but that's awesome to hear that.
Here's the thing: the trailer industry, and it's not so much like this anymore, but for a long time, going all the way back to when I was in film school, trailers were they're just they gave every single bit away about the movie to where you would go and then see the movie and everything that there was to see was in the trailer. It gave everything away, and I hated that. And it's not so much like that anymore, but it's still real easy to, you're watching a bunch of good trailers in a compilation or something, and suddenly one pops up, and it's one of those, they still do them here and there, and you're like, oh, well, now I know that, this is about you getting your wife back, and there's a bomb here, and they're going to try and kill your son, but you need to go and do this, all of that good stuff. But I'm really excited to see The Monkey. This is shot by Nico Aguilar, Aguilar, Aguilar.
That person did the. I'm not going to butcher that name, but that person did Long Legs as well, right?
I am currently looking up his IMDb as we speak.
I feel like I remember specifically hearing that name, and that what was it again? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna
Nico Aguilar.
Okay, Nico Aguilar. Mm-hmm. So Nico Aguilar, I apologize in advance if I fucked up your name.
So he's known for his work on Chupa by Jonas Cuarón, Pedro Parama by Rodrigo Prieto, Charlie Day's Fool's Paradise. He's also known for his second unit additional photography on Marvel's Echo, Martin Scorsese's Killer of the Flower Moon, and Julie Taymor's Glorias.
Okay, so he did not work on Long Legs.
Not that I see.
Okay.
This looks like he might. This might be his biggest work to date as a cinematographer, maybe.
Well, that's cool. I mean, good on him for getting to come up and, that Oz Perkins dude, obviously caught a lot of fire on that Long Legs. So
why?
Caught a lot of fire on Long Legs?
Yeah.
It just blew up. That was
I thought you meant like negative fire.
He caught a lot of like come up with that. So this guy's
momentum.
doing well on his next project. Because if you remember, Longlegs was like blowing up.
That's right.
And then this was already in production, so it was already like, hey, by the way, this guy's also directing a Stephen King adaptation or whatever. So it was
yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Longlegs, because it was obviously a lower budget. Wasn't it like an A24 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
and they ended up doing so well at some point that they got like extra distribution.
Yeah, I mean it was like way overperformed, which is great and good for him. That movie was wild, but like that's the same thing. Like I'll take that any day over some drivel. You know what I mean? It was interesting and it was very heavy at times. You know what I mean? Like, and they would play out some of those long. I don't want to say awkward. That's a shitty word, but you know what I mean? Like some of these uncomfortable moments in that movie, which were interesting. You know what I mean? Like, and of course Nick Cage is a wild person.
Oh.
He's out of control, which is great. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's going to be a good movie. I really do.
What are some of the other things Osgood Perkins has directed?
I'm not sure. I'd never heard of him before Longlegs.
Because, I mean, we know he's done Longlegs. He's done this. I mean, he's been an actor in a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was kind of his forte before this.
So that's how he got his foot in the door, is doing some acting, and then...
Yeah, I think so. So he's directed The Blackcoat's Daughter in 2015. I Am... The Pretty Things, something, in 2016. Gretel and Hansel in 2020. He directed one episode of the Twilight Zone TV series in 2020. And then Longlegs, and now The Monkey. Okay,
so he had done a few things that maybe just didn't quite catch fire.
And as far as an actor, he was Flynn Bachman in Nope. He was Enterprise Communications Officer in Star Trek 2009. He was in the Utah Murder Project. He was Close to Home, Erosion, Alias for 2 episodes. So he's been an actor, and it seems he's transferred over, and he's, I mean, a good director as far as I can tell.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like too those other projects, he had a few projects that he was able to cut his teeth with.
Yeah, and Longlegs was shot really good. It was an eerie film, but I liked it.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I liked it a lot.
I mean, if you'd like to hear that podcast, click the link down below.
Yes.
Well, it is time to step into the time machine.
Let's do it.
Time machine. All right, we have returned from the time machine, peaking both our mic levels at the same time. Okay, well, Nosferatu was a masterpiece.
Yep.
I said before I felt spoiled, a little less spoiled now. Not saying I didn't like The Monkey. It does not hold up to Nosferatu, and I think that might be unfair of a comparison because they're so different.
Yeah.
And the teams are so different. You've got one that was technically a studio film in Universal doing Nosferatu with a tried and true director team, whereas this one is a somewhat new director. He has done some projects, and a somewhat new cinematographer, and a somewhat independent production company. That being said, I thought it was a really good movie. We didn't know a lot of what to expect from The Monkey, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely not disappointed in this picture at all.
No, not at all. And it's definitely, like, it's not apples to Nosferatu by any stretch. Definitely different tone, different style,
completely
different everything. But I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I will say, just as a general comment, when you're gonna see this film, you need to be prepared to just go on the ride that you're gonna go on. You need to be open to it, because, like, sort of similarly to Longlegs, it's got some very styled things about it that you just need to be able to just go with and don't think too much. There was a couple of times in the beginning before I really got into it where I caught myself trying to question, like, did I see that right? Did I misinterpret this? But I realized pretty quickly that it's like, okay, this is sort of what's going to happen. So I just need to roll with it. And once I kind of got into that, it was fine.
I want to say it gave Evil Dead vibes.
Definitely.
But,
tones of
but
it. Like
definitely, it's
that.
not as campy. It's just in the sense that death is funny.
It definitely was. Like, they leaned into that. And there was, like, a lot of just random, and, no heavy spoilers or anything, but a lot of random deaths that were pretty comical, honestly. And it was a fun contrast because sometimes the content of the scene around it would be kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And then it would just be this absolutely wild death. And it was... It was fun in that way. It did give it a little bit of like fun, even though the performances are kind of, very serious. They're not like, I didn't feel like there was a lot of like tongue in cheek performances. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
They approached the material kind of straight up with the content matter.
I mean, other than that, like, one flunky character,
Yeah.
every single one of the characters were kind of played straightforward. Well, maybe Elijah Wood was a little over the top, but for the most
That's
part...
like one scene,
Yeah,
though. Like,
yeah,
those
yeah,
are
yeah,
one-offs throughout it. Yeah, but there was some fun scenes, like the opening scene with Adam Scott is fun. Like, that was a fun way to jump into it. The main character plays... two brothers,
And so that's one thing I actually did not know going into this.
Know
that
either.
he played twins. It's Theo James,
Yeah, not Theo Vaughn.
not Theo Vaughn.
Theo
Very,
James.
very different guy. Very different
Yeah,
work.
right. Yeah, but Theo James is good. He's a Brit as well,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's pretty awesome. He sounds good as an American. He's just good. I like him in a lot of stuff. I saw The Gentleman, but I also saw he was in a season of that White Lotus show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
and he's really good in that as well. So
I did not see the White Lotus.
Yeah, definitely good. His performance is good. The other brother, that's kind of not the main character.
Yeah.
Is kind of I don't know, weird emo over the top, I guess, or whatever. But I kind of dug that they didn't go. They went obviously way different with the look. But they didn't go way different with, like, he didn't try to put on some different voice for him.
No.
Or anything like. I honestly thought that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
It just wasn't distracting and
I could believe they were two different people.
yeah. But, sometimes when people do that, they'll put on, like, they'll try their best to do different mannerisms
Yeah,
and stuff like that in a
absolutely.
different voice, which I get it. You do want to make them as different as humanly possible, but he didn't really do that, and I thought that it worked for the best. It didn't take away, it didn't distract. There's a big portion of the opening where it's actually a younger guy that plays the young versions of those characters. Mm-hmm. The big thing for me is, like, I felt like that could have been a bit shorter. You had made a comment earlier that I thought was pretty funny and interesting, and true. That movie felt either 10 or 15 minutes too long, or maybe like 30 minutes too short.
Yeah. I don't. There were multiple points where, while sitting in the theater, I was squirming and I was thinking,
Yeah.
what's? I'm trying not to get pulled out of this, but I'm getting uncomfortable here.
No,
and
100%.
not from the film, just physically from sitting there. I was.
Yeah.
I
I think the opening where he was a young kid, like the kid did a great job. Like the actor that played both.
Absolutely.
Did a fantastic job, but I think they could have cut probably 5 or 10 minutes just off that.
Yeah.
And it would have done the exact same thing. And it got really drawn out. And there was the actor you like, the mother.
Tatiana Maslany, yes.
And she's good in this, but
And-
there was a lot of her scenes that I think you could have lost. And
Absolutely.
wouldn't
So
have-
it's a wild thing to cast her, who is such a varied actress. She could do any role possible, and
Yep.
she could do multiple things at once. And she played something pretty straightforward. She had kind of that almost like you all live, you all die, so fuck the world, let's get high kind of attitude.
Yeah.
At times.
Yep.
Which that's fine. I was just surprised she didn't have a more varied role. I was surprised that she died off so quick in the film.
Well, it just felt like really that whole a lot of her scenes were honestly she did a great job, and she did well with what she had to work with, but it was like a lot of that whole opening like that. I mean, they were on the kid version for like 30 minutes.
Absolutely,
or something.
yeah.
And I mean, it was just a long fucking time before you got to the adult version. I would have just preferred, hey, shave 7 to 10 minutes off that with the kid, get to the adult thing, and you would have kind of been a little bit closer. But there was also, as he when it became the adult, it was kind of slow getting to the part where you kind of get the kid, and then them kind of going through to where the real kind of rising action where the killing begins again or whatever. There was like a good solid slog of that too that I felt like could have been tightened up quite a bit, and it would have moved it along a lot faster. And it would have been quick, but I think it would have done well for this. You know what I mean? Because like once you got started going to they were in that motel or whatever, and the fucking lady exploded when she jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
That was good, and it was like,
what the fuck, is that a leg?
Yeah, like that was great. But like that kind of kicked off really the honest to goodness plot of the movie, and that was 45 minutes in. You know what I mean? Like the rest of it was sort of backstory, setting up what the monkey was and stuff, and that's fine. I just think you could have done all that with probably 10 minutes less. You could have gotten to this place a little faster, and you would have already kind of been off to the races, and the rest of the story can kind of happen as it needed to. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of that where it just felt like, it felt like it was a little too long.
Yeah.
Or it was too short, but I would honestly say those areas could have been tightened up where you would have lost nothing. You wouldn't have sacrificed anything to just tighten a lot of that stuff up when they were the kids, and then tighten the area up between, that scene with Elijah Wood.
So was our extraneous bits of this film that needed to be tightened up? Is it dialogue? Is it scenes just in general that just went too long in development? What do you think? Because honestly, while I did really enjoy this film, and it looks like they had a lot of fun making it, or it would have been a lot of fun to make it, the dialogue in specific felt very film school. And I'm not saying it felt amateurish, it reads like something that I would hear actors say at a 48-hour film fest. It's very, what's kind of like the first thing that comes to your mind when thinking about this old scene setup situation between a mother and their son at dark in this car after a big death, and it's,
You think maybe it would have done good to have like another pass through the script or something?
Absolutely.
Like maybe
just something because it was, and I don't know if that was their intention going through it, but it definitely felt like, like a stream of consciousness in a way, and that's not a bad thing. It's just I felt like I don't know, it's a little kitschy,
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too, and this is a perception, so this might not be correct at all, like one bit, but sort of like remember, like we were talking earlier before we traveled in time, where they started the promotional materials for the monkey during Longlegs because it got real popular. I also wonder, and spoiler alert, there's a teaser for this director's Osgood Perkins' next project.
Yeah, so if you go and watch the film, sit through the credits, all of the credits, it's not a mid-credit scene, it's an end-credit scene at the very end.
Yep.
You get a teaser for his next project, which we'll touch on a little bit here in a moment. It's called The Keepers.
Well, I'm just wondering, the way the perception is kind of to your point. Maybe they are kind of, I mean, he's an indie filmmaker, obviously, so they probably can shoot fast. It's not like there was like a ton of visual effects in this either.
So I kind of want to touch on this of what, in this day and age, what is an indie filmmaker and what's not. Because Neon is an indie-esque production company. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of money coming through, and they've got deals with major distribution facilities.
Yeah, okay.
So anytime I see a film that has more than 2 or 3 executive producers, I kind of start to think, well, that's not really an indie project, even though this might be kind of classified as that. Like, all of the A24 films that are coming out now, or that have come out in the last couple of years, are those really indie films?
Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Or has indie kind of become the new studio?
Yeah. Well, and I just wonder, just because this dude, it seems like, hey, you know, in Long Legs, it was like the promotional. It's like, hey, there's this next project. Here's footage from it. So it's obviously already been shot. Same thing.
And that's smart.
I just wonder if that has to do with maybe these things are rushing into stuff.
I see.
Maybe that script didn't get that extra pass, or maybe they could have brought somebody in to just do a one draft, you know, just a cleanup pass.
Yeah.
That's also possible. Or maybe this dude just writes like that, and that's how he wants it to be. You know?
I mean, it absolutely could be intentional. I don't know a lot about this guy.
Yeah.
I think he's phenomenal as a director.
He's the uncle.
Yes, Uncle Chip.
I didn't know that until the credits, but I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got that
nice
look
little
about
cameo.
him.
I knew he was in it somewhere, and I just couldn't remember what role it was. So actually, as we were leaving the theater, I pulled it up. Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah. But yeah, that I mean, I think that's a fair thing to point out, because it did feel like that at times. You know what I mean? Like, there were kind of odd interactions, and that's, for me, I can't tell if it's just like a style choice to kind of have this sort of weird, awkward conversations and then kind of live in that. Because there's some people that really do that. And there were hints of that in Long Legs, too. So I wonder if it's maybe just that guy likes to have these sort of awkward, sort of abstract type conversations between the characters, and wants you to kind of live in the uncomfortableness of it, I wonder. But there was a lot of that. But, like, the performances I thought were pretty good across the board. I didn't think anybody, like, stuck out as really being shitty or anything like that. That's what I mean. There were some really funny kills.
Absolutely.
Just absolutely bizarre, like, circumstances, too, where you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like any time.
And that was cool.
There was, like, so specifically the scene where it was Theo James's character's boss, how he dies. You know, it kind of foreshadows with the vape and everything.
Yeah,
and it looks like he's gonna turn around and he's gonna get killed. You know, in one certain way. Turns around, he gets the cartoon rake and then chokes on his fucking vape.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, and even the end, you know, where all that shit's going fucked up and everything's on fire and the pale horse walks by and all that kind of shit.
I kind of liked the Death's cameo at the end there.
Well, what was funny about it, though, like, to me anyway, is like how straight they played it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Even though all that shit, like, there's tractors on fire in the background and a baby stroller on fire.
I think that's what makes it work. If they would have played it goofy, then it would have been like, okay, well, what the fuck are we doing here? But how they were just reacting to everything so straight. It did. That was great.
It was great. I enjoyed the movie for sure. I'm definitely not shitting on it. I say that's just going to be my critique on a lot of movies, especially recently. We were talking about it earlier. I just see a lot of movies where it's like, it just feels like sometimes like you're not really getting to the next story beat in a very timely manner. You know, and that's not necessarily always a bad thing. But, you know, this also could be I'm a victim of current culture where my attention span has gotten less over the years, too. Maybe I'm just, you know, maybe I get a little out of it too easy or something, maybe, perhaps. That's possible. But there's just a lot of these movies where you'll see these sequences that kind of drag on where it's like, well, I feel like you could have done the exact same thing if it would have just been tighter and less. You wouldn't have lost anything. And you still could have made this tighter and it would have moved on a little faster. That's like the whole area where he's a kid and they're setting up what the monkey is. Mm-hmm. Just to me, that whole entire part of the film was just a bit too long, and I think it would have solved a lot of the things that you think of, like toward the end and the climax, where it's like, man, this movie is just like 10 or 15 minutes too long. Yeah. I think you could have done a lot with that, where you could have trimmed a lot of that, gotten the same thing across. Same thing like with the when he is an adult until he gets the kid and they actually start taking off. There's a lot of that stuff too, I think, that just could have been tightened up. You know, that Elijah Wood scene. That's a 6 or 7 minute scene that probably could have been about 3. That, I mean, it's Elijah Wood, and he did a good job, and it was, kind of a real stylized performance and all that, and that's fine, but, like, it just hung on a little too long, in my opinion. That you could have tightened that up, and it would have been fine.
Absolutely. So, general reaction's good. I would probably say 7.5, maybe a 7.7 out of 10.
I think that's a good one. I think that's a very good. It's worth a watch for sure.
Absolutely.
It was even better than. It wasn't like fair. It was good. Like it was.
Yes,
I would definitely
give
it a solid good.
I would definitely watch this again. I'd
100%.
wait a little bit just so I could so some of the themes and everything could be fresh again.
And there could be some shit that we missed too that maybe
yeah.
we just didn't pick up on.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the room as well.
So I know we didn't have expectations much of this, so we can't really address on if it met or fell short of any of those. But we can break down some points, some technical points. Cinematography and directing usually go kind of hand in hand here. And visually, this movie is really, really good. There are some things that I thought, maybe... So I'm not 100% sure if this is what they were using, but a lot of it looks like it was shot with a 50mm lens, which means a shallow depth of field, which means your focus is on kind of one plane in your frame, and everything else kind of blurs out from beyond that.
Yep.
And this is kind of a modern style. A lot of people use 50mm are, get great shots, but then whenever you kind of pull off to mediums and wide shots, it you're losing a little bit, in my opinion, from there. And while it looked really good, I think we could have used some other focal lengths, and there were other focal lengths, but I noticed that type of look throughout this.
Yeah,
for sure. Directing wise, I think Osgood Perkins has really got an eye. Some really interesting things, but it kind of also brings me to the same thing. My tiniest little critique with the cinematography and the shallow depth of field focus is we're looking at a lot of close-ups.
Yeah.
Which is another kind of a modern director thing, is you have a lot of close-ups because you can get a hyper-stylized, hyper-detailed, sharp-looking image from that. And depends on how you use it, it could look unsettling.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a lot of close-ups, a lot of fast cuts, and moving cameras, it gets even more unsettling. And they were doing some of this. Whereas with Nosferatu, you could have closed your eyes, fast-forwarded to a random point, and paused it, open your eyes, and whatever image could have been a piece of art.
Yep.
This style of filmmaking, if you were to do that, you would come across some blurry images because of the close-up movement.
Yep.
Which I know they're going for that. And I'm not saying it's a bad look. I'm just saying I would have preferred something a little bit more varied in that type of sense visually.
Yeah.
Any takes?
I thought it looked well. I'm not smart enough to know anything about lenses, but I didn't. It didn't bother me that it was. It could be a little bit movie, and I don't mean necessarily the camera moving, but I mean like a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually think it really worked in that your antagonist, the monkey, is literally an inanimate object.
Yes.
So I thought that they did a great job as far as, it's not, there's not a monster that is going to kill people. It is kind of, the circumstances around that kills the people that is driven by the monkey or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever demonic spirit that's in it or whatever it is.
Kind of Final Destination, but it comes from a source.
Yeah, but I thought that sold that a lot better, that it was a lot of, there was a lot of movement, a lot of cuts,
I'll give them this. So there's a trope that a lot of modern directors and cinematographers do, where they do get these 50mm or shallower close-ups of their characters and objects, and they don't stabilize them correctly. It's either handheld shots or it is a camera with no stabilization and it's shaky and it bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that Rob Zombie did in the kind of like the middle of his filmmaking career, and it just drove me nuts having these extreme close-ups on people and the camera's just jiggling all over the place whenever you're supposed to be focused on a central point. They didn't do that. Everything is stabilized. Everything is locked down.
Yeah.
And if it's not locked down with the gear, the editing stabilized it, and it does look really good.
A lot of good, cool angles, too, like when they would do a close-up on a character, specifically at the end when he's talking to his brother or whatever, and it was this weird, like, kind of upshot to the main character versus kind of... It was very cool, and
it made the two characters played by the same actor look a little different. The lower angle character made the younger brother now look a little older. He looked a little more grizzled, whereas the younger character, or the older brother character, looked a little bit younger. You could see less of the lines on his face.
No, and so I thought in that respect it worked because you didn't have, there's not a monster. It's not a person doing the killing. It's like all of these things that kind of happen in and around the victim or whatever. So I thought that played. They would do the fun cuts to the monkey with, you would see its crazy eyes or whatever, then you'd see the drumstick coming down. But as it was doing that, it was quick cuts to the surrounding area, and then something happened and somebody would die.
And in a compelling way to almost show the emotions of the monkey through the different... Because, I mean, it seemed like the monkey had different emotions throughout the movie whenever you would get close up on its eyes. And I don't know if they were using, like, different monkey pieces or if they maybe did a little bit of painting or something to make the eyes look different, but... Something about him seemed expressive, and it could have been in set, music, editing, all of that. But they did a really good job on that as well. It's like there's looked at times to where it's like the monkey almost had a sarcastic look in his eyes. And then there was another where it almost looked like a menacing look in his eyes, and it was real interesting how they... I'd be interested to go back and look on a finer detail or hear the creators, what their process behind
I would
that
say,
was.
though, overall, that worked. For me, like that,
100%.
That's not an easy task either. To have a story where you're, like your main villain, your whatever, is an inanimate object that doesn't move, except for like one motion of hands going down to a drum. So you're kind of, you have to be creative about that to even truly make that play. And I thought that they did that extremely well. And it also did lend to the comedy of the deaths, versus those really, the stark contrast of the really very serious performances. I thought all that stuff worked. I really did. And that all worked for me very well. I agree with what you were saying, though. Like the awkwardness sometimes of and awkward's just the best word I can come up with. That's probably a shit word to use, but... the awkward conversations that they would have and the dialogue being kind of odd. It was just like that sometimes would kind of pull you out of it, I think. It would just, for me, for a minute, just be like, what did I miss here? Like, did I miss something? And then I didn't. It was just, that's weird. The weird guy that dresses up like a cop. Everything that dude said was insanely odd and weird. You know what I mean? And it was like, I couldn't understand, like, was it a character choice or was it...
At different times I thought, wait, is that Bill's kid?
Right, yeah, absolutely. And I did think that kind of stuff as well.
So going into some acting and casting choices, we've talked about how much we like Theo James, how much we like Tatiana Maslany. We haven't really touched on any of the other people, like young Hal, young Bill. That was one kid actor. He played both of those characters.
Yeah, and he did a great job.
His name is Christian Convery, and he did a really good job. I don't know...
Great job.
Let's see what else he was in previously.
Yeah, and my previous comments, too, just to clarify, that whole big giant area should have been shorter. Definitely not due to the performances or anything like that.
Oh, no, absolutely. It was specifically plot-based.
Yeah, just story speed. And such.
He's appeared in Van Helsing as Vampire Child number 4A in one episode from 2016.
Excellent.
Let's fast forward some. He played Ethan in one episode of Lucifer, the TV series, in 2017. Go forward a little bit more. He played
A lot of TV work.
the 8-year-old boy named Joey in the 2018 Venom film. Goes uncredited, unfortunately, for that one. Going forward another year, we have Descendants 3 TV movie, 2019, as the character Squeaky. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the voice of Fregley in 2021. Going forward, he was Henry in Cocaine Bear.
Named character.
2023. Going forward even further, he played young Sanji in One Piece, the TV series in 2023. And he played Gus in Sweet Tooth for 24 episodes, which I believe is the main character. Absolutely, it is the main character, and that was such a good series. I don't think I've seen the second season, but if you haven't seen Sweet Tooth, it's a really, really good series.
I've never even heard of it.
The world is full of these, I guess, mutant kids that have animal parts that grow from them for whatever various reasons after this apocalyptic event, and there's, I don't know if it's the government or an overarching military force, but they don't want these kids around, so they go off trying to kill them. There's this one former soldier who kind of takes them in and protects them, and they pretty much find out through a series of events that the blood of these kids is going to save, the planet of all these people that want them dead, because of some viral outbreak, something along those lines. I saw the first season kind of in passing with Melinda, my wife, and I know there's a second season, and I haven't seen that. There might be a third season by now as well, but it's called
worth a watch.
Sweet Tooth. I would absolutely like to watch it. If you like kind of post-apocalyptic things, it's similar to that, but kind of like with a Goonies kid vibe to it. It's not like the Goonies, but the kind of 90s kid movie vibe where dark stuff happens, but it's aimed towards a younger audience.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I'd watch it. So he's the star of that, Christian Convery, and it looks like after The Monkey, he's got one other thing coming out, a TV series called Invincible.
Oh, yeah, that's the comic.
Where he plays Oliver.
Yeah, so that's in the third season now.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Oliver is the little brother of the main character, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha. He also has some more upcoming stuff. He's going to play young Victor in a production of Frankenstein.
Is that the Guillermo del Toro?
That's a good question, because I'm not very familiar. Is del Toro doing a Frankenstein?
I feel like it is. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like that's who it is. I want to say it's like Oscar Isaac or something.
I love a lot of these old Universal stories, so I'd be more than willing to see. As we do have, yes, Guillermo del Toro starring Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz. Very interesting.
Excellent.
Looking forward to seeing that.
I'm sure that'll be a legit movie. Charles Dance, that's my guy.
Oh yeah, David Bradley.
Bradley.
Are you familiar with David Bradley?
I'm very familiar with David Bradley.
I absolutely love David Bradley. Lars Mikkelsen's really good. Obviously, Charles Dance. Awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it looks like a great cast. Guillermo del Toro, too. He usually comes out swinging.
Yeah, he's a great director.
I'm sure it'll be
Do we have
quite
a
good.
cinematographer for this yet?
I feel like this movie's already made.
Oh, is it in post? Oh, yeah, it is in post. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, I feel like it comes out like this year or something. Or maybe next year, early next year.
Let's see. Cinematography all the way down here. Dan Lauston. Let's see. He's Danish.
Can't fuck with Dan Lauston.
Let's see. He has previously worked on Crimson Peak, director of photography in 2015, John Wick Chapter 2 in 2017, DP for The Shape of Water in 2017.
So he's Guillermo's guy.
Seems
but it looks like okay, so all those John Wicks.
He did, unless it was John Wick before 2012, the first one.
Maybe it was. I don't remember when that movie came out, but
don't.
Those John Wick movies do look good, though.
Yeah, they all look
they
really
look
good.
Great.
He also did Solomon Kane. So this is a real deal guy here. 1864 miniseries.
Yeah, it sounds like Guillermo del Toro.
Did the
fucks with him a lot.
Recent Color Purple, The Gorge, Frankenstein, and the Ghost of Tsushima adaptation. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's a great game. If you never played it.
There's a lot of games I haven't played.
It's worth a play.
I just finished an Assassin's Creed game, and I was really looking forward to getting a new one. And I looked, and I didn't want to get the very next one out, which is after the one I played, which was Odyssey. So the very next one after that's Valhalla. Mm-hmm. And I figured I kind of wanted something a little bit more modern, so the mechanics evolve a little bit more.
Yep.
And then I was looking at the next game after that one. They say that, well, the mechanics aren't as role-playing as the previous games, where they went back to kind of like the first 3 Assassin's Creed style. And Mirage, the brand new one that's about to come out, is kind of going to encompass all of those styles in one.
Oh, okay.
Not available for the system that I have, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to wait until I can afford a PS5 to...
I was about to say, it's probably on a system that
Absolutely.
I have, so
there you go,
I might check it out.
You need to get it. Let me know how it goes, and maybe we'll start a video game podcast review one day. Maybe we'll do some live stream gaming at some point.
If you want to see somebody that's shitty at video games, then
that's
definitely what...
I'm in the same camp. We'll be two shit gamers. This will be the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want to see me get my ass beat at every fucking thing, I'm one of those. I have to play everything on easy, because it's like, even easy sometimes is too hard for me.
So we're going off topic a little bit. Let's get back to casting and acting.
Oh, I'd say it's on topic.
We got Colin O'Brien, who played Peter, correct? Petey played Petey.
Yeah, so he was pretty good too.
He was a good actor. Honestly, there was no one that wasn't a good actor in this. I think everyone did a really good job. Petey previously played young Willy Wonka in the 2023 Wonka film. He was in one episode of SWAT TV series as Matthew. Doesn't look like he's done a mega ton of stuff. A couple episodes on Grey's Anatomy. A bunch of episodes on Dear Edward. Looks like he played Edward, so I'm assuming all of those. Really good young actor.
Yeah, he's got I think both of those guys that were the young actors, this guy and then the one that played the young version, I think both of them are, they're going to have legit careers for sure if
Absolutely.
They choose to. They were all good.
Doesn't look like he's got anything upcoming, so we'll have to pass on what he's doing in the future, but I'm sure that whatever it is, it will be good.
Well, and he did do a really good job, him specifically. The way the story works is the dad, which is one of the original boys that dealt with the monkey or whatever. He seems like he's like an absentee father, and the reason why he's an absentee father is because he doesn't want his kid inheriting any of the bad shit from the monkey or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he kind of stays away, and this is like the one time per year that he sees him. And that was good because it was interestingly, by the end of the movie, it like really bonded them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they're like, hey, we need to keep, we're just going to have to keep the monkey close to us, but now you're just in, now you're involved with it. So you're just going to have to deal with it. But it was a good, I thought he played the kind of desire to be close to his father while simultaneously holding resentments for him not being there. I thought he played that really well.
Yeah. And then for our cinematographer, Nico Aguilar, which we touched on previously. If I'm butchering your name, I'm so sorry, but I doubt you're listening to this.
Yeah. No. He's my boy now. He's my guy, Nico.
So I found a more fuller list of his credits.
Okay.
Looks like he's done a lot of TV series and music videos. And shorts seem to be his biggest thing here. Things from Beast in 2013, Mr. Bananas in 2014, Hum in 2015, Kara, a Star Wars story short in 2016, a zombie love story 2016. There's a lot of these are shorts, a lot of these are TV. Oh look, so a music video for Chapel Roan, Sugar High. My wife loves Chapel Roan, so do I. Great stuff. Stargate Origins Catherine TV series, all 10 episodes of cinematography.
Nice.
That's actually the one Stargate series that I didn't really get into.
I've never seen it. It sucks.
I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's definitely got a completely different vibe than anything else Stargate before then.
Yeah.
It feels like a bunch of kids made it, and I mean they could have. I'm not 100% sure.
I got you.
Furthermore, he's a cinematographer for some Marshmello music videos, cinematography for Mortal Kombat 11. What Would You Fight For? Witch Hunt cinematographer in 2021, Phobias in 2021, 21 Pilots. He's done a lot of work for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
Chupa, Fool's Paradise, Pedro Paramo and the Monkey seem to be kind of his biggest budget DP jobs starting about 2023, and he's got something coming out that's been completed. It's another short he's the cinematographer for called Step Inside the Circle, which is it's an in-depth exploration of the devastating effects of adverse childhood experiences on men and women living behind bars. And that'll be an interesting thing. Really good eye. Seems to have a good head on his shoulders for how to film stuff.
It looked good too. Like there was a lot of cool. There was a lot of cool shots. There was a lot of cool. Like the set design was very good. There were a bunch of interesting different sets. And it wasn't anything nuts. Like this wasn't insane set heavy thing, but like everything did feel interesting. Even like that old house that the aunt lives in. It's just some random house. There's nothing spectacular about it, but it felt homey. It felt lived in, and it felt interesting to watch it. How it was photographed, how it looked. It still felt interesting.
I don't know, this just hit me, but almost Goosebumps-esque, that house.
Yeah, Goosebumps-esque.
So we touched on it briefly at the very end of this film, post-credit scene, a teaser for Osgood Perkins' next project entitled Keeper. And it is, here's a IMDb's synopsis for it. During an anniversary getaway at a remote cabin, a wife is left alone after her husband departs, only to confront a sinister presence that exposes the cabin's chilling past. Directed by Osgood Perkins, written by Nick Leppard, starring Tatiana Maslany, Rossif Sutherland, and Burkett Turton.
Nice.
Seeing the teaser, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that was what this was about.
I actually kind of like that, though.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the monkey teaser. It's like you weren't able to really get a bead on what was going on, and I think that's a good thing. I really hate it when people give shit away.
And I'm glad that he's working with Tatiana again. Maybe this will be a bigger role for her to be able to stretch her acting abilities a little more.
I would almost be curious if that's why she did the monkey, because they were about to do this other thing. Because it's already said it was in post-production anyway.
Yes.
So it's already shot. So I wonder if it seems like he back-to-back those movies. So I wonder if it's one of those deals to where he had her cast as a major role in Keeper and then was like, yo, will you come play this small role in this monkey before we start?
And so looking into our writer for this film, there is not much information on this Nick Leppard whatsoever. It seems like he's got 2 credits to his name, the first being Keeper, which is in post-production, and the next being something called Dangerous Animals, which is also in post-production. Very interesting.
Well, that's pretty cool that
Dangerous
it's...
Animals, directed by Sean Byrne.
That's pretty cool he's got 2 projects, though, in the same year, like...
Yeah, I mean...
shooting simultaneously, that's badass.
Must be one to watch, definitely.
Heavy-hitting scripts is what it sounds like. I mean, if you got 2 going at the same time... That's good. Good for that guy. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. But I would like to see that Keeper because it's not written by Perkins himself. So I'd be interested to see how he photographs, and how he directs something that he didn't have because it kind of goes back to that writing style that we were talking about. Longlegs had some of that same thing. And then this, obviously, the screenplay was by Perkins from a short story by King.
Stephen King, yeah.
But, obviously he was able to flesh that out. But I'd be curious to see what it's like when he directs a script that he didn't write. I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah, and I feel like, he probably had a lot to write with the monkey because, the story it's based on is so short.
I think that's probably a good thing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the idea of like taking a short story like Corman did with all of Edgar Allan Poe's stuff and kind of building off of a base idea.
Yeah.
Your short story will set your atmosphere, will set your ideas, give you a beginning, middle, and end, kind of a guideline as to where to go through. And okay, this is tried and true. This has been successful in another format.
Right.
Now let's take it and expand on it and do something else with it. So yeah, these next few movies. I'm excited to see what they do. Really looking forward to catching more of their work. like we started off, feeling like a little spoiled as it comes to movies coming out now, which is kind of in rare form. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for me, I haven't been paying super close attention for a long time. There were some films that caught my eye over the several years. You know, Ready Player One, The Witch, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those three really stuck out to me as being, you know, great films over the modern era of the last 10 years or whatever. And I feel like we're going to get a lot more of that, especially seeing how good Nosferatu was and how enjoyable The Monkey was.
Yeah, no, I think the universe is course correcting as far as, like, I think people are speaking with their dollars. It's like, and this is not me shitting on corporate comic book movies or anything like that, but I think people are inherently hungry for
creator-based content,
more original ideas, and more something that's just not that. That's obviously gonna be here to stay. You know, that's gonna be a thing, of course, and that's not a problem. But when you go away, you know, there's not. We talked about this on a previous podcast, but it's like, where are those original mid-budget ideas? You know, those went away for a long time, but I feel like like you're saying, the indie now, and I'm using air quotes,
Quote,
is
unquote,
kind of the new mid-budget.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's good. We need
mid-studio budget. You know, we used to have Full Moon and Hammer, and these were studios that were hiring up, you know, indie people to work with big studio people in that kind of midway point.
Yeah,
and, you know,
and it was original ideas.
Yeah.
It was and that doesn't matter what it is. It could be drama, it could be horror, it could be comedy. It really doesn't matter. You want all those.
And
like,
I think
people are hungry.
your big production studios are seeing that now.
Oh,
You have companies like Universal and Lionsgate putting money into these smaller companies and bolstering them up. So I think we've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
100%. It's gonna happen, I think, too, because it works so slow. You know, because movies, obviously, it takes a while to produce.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna really, it's gonna keep going up from here, but I think maybe within the next, like, year and a half to 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really going to pop off, where you're going to see a lot of really good writers that maybe have had scripts for a long time.
Yeah,
that
when
they
you're
couldn't
talking
get made.
about films from conception to release, you're 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your average.
I
so.
think you're going to see a lot of these popping off that you know, writers that are great, that just never had an opportunity to get something produced just because they weren't writing on.
And a lot of your big cats are dying off, retiring,
Yep.
things like that. So there's space.
Yeah. No, and that's exciting. Like, that's, I want to see, you know, like an Osgood Perkins. Like, that dude,
Okay, so not saying I don't want John Carpenter to fucking direct another movie, because 100% I would drop every other film that's going to come out in 2026 if I was guaranteed
Oh,
a
sure.
John Carpenter directed film.
But I think he just wants to play video games.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever,
exactly what he
so-
said. He wants to lay on his couch and just play video games. He said he'd like for people to stop contacting him, which,
He,
you know.
he did his thing, I guess,
Yeah.
already. But
Yeah.
like an Osgood Perkins, this is 2 in a row that are, like, legit worth watching. So that, to me, is already kind of, I'm not saying maybe The Keeper is amazing or maybe it's not great, but, like, you've at least got 2 in a row for me that I enjoyed, where it was like, this was not a waste of my time.
Absolutely.
I felt like both of these films are 100% worth a watch. And The Monkey, for sure, like, I would definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you're into horror, and especially if you get a kick out of really funny death scenes. You know, like that really, that inner Evil Dead 2, you know, type of vibe with the deaths was kind of fun.
Absolutely. That any time that I felt like, oh, well, what's going on here, I'd have a nice little chuckle.
Yeah,
little
it was fun.
tongue-in-cheek.
That made it a lot more fun. It really did tickle me a couple of times.
So let's kind of shift off of that. We've talked about this movie enough. By the time everyone hears this, it will probably be available for streaming. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're thinking about it, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
We didn't give away absolutely everything.
No.
But, you know...
It's worth the watch.
It is absolutely worth the watch. If you haven't seen any of Osgood Perkins' other projects, go watch them. These are absolutely worth your time. Moving forward, what are some things that you're looking forward to seeing? Personally, so we missed the theatrical release window for Queen of the Ring, which is David Avildsen, produced by Jim Ross. And I really want to watch this movie. Unfortunately, we won't be able to support it in theaters, but the moment it becomes available to stream or purchase, I absolutely will be doing that. And
I bet it's coming soon.
we could podcast that one at some point if
Yeah,
you'd like.
sure.
My personal Lord and Savior, Jim Cornette, plays a small role in the film.
That's
and
awesome.
We must all, worship at the feet of his greatness.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
And
I'd definitely check it out.
There's so many things coming out.
Yeah.
So I know Anora is going to be out on Hulu coming up, probably already out now. Today, it's out today, which that won all of the awards for the Oscars.
Yeah.
I honestly hadn't heard of it until it won all those awards, but it is another production from Neon.
Oh, okay.
So
they just won some.
yeah, so
some
they're,
Oscars.
They're going to get some stuff coming towards
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
And I've never been big on Oscar films, but I always try and watch the Best Picture and the Best Director
Yeah.
of those years. And many times they're not my bag.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because the industry is changing, and we just watched some good stuff from this studio. So there's that one. Anything else that you've heard of that seems good, looks good?
There is a movie that's out now, and it's called Companion or something like that.
Companion.
It's about a dude that has like an AI robot or something, which sounds kind of contrived, like it's like Megan or whatever. But it didn't seem like that. It seemed like it was like a pretty legit. It's got that dude, Dennis Quaid's son.
Randy Quaid?
No, I think that's his brother. I can't remember his son's name, but I can't remember his name. Like Henry Quaid. He's in The Boys. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know why.
Jack Quaid.
Fucking idiot. I'm like
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's got him in it. I like him. And it seemed like a very, at least by the trailer that I saw, it seemed like a well-written, interesting character piece version of the AI robot thing that's not, just a slasher or whatever. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was worth watching, which I think I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure what's upcoming. I haven't really looked.
Also, kind of looking through some of the stuff, one of the trailers that we saw today for Until Dawn, a video game adaptation that you're familiar with.
Yeah, I played the video game. What's funny about it is Rami Malek is in the video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that video game was made a long fucking time ago. I mean, at least 10 or 12 years ago.
Wow.
But Peter Stormer is in the game as well. I'm sure he plays the same character, I would have to assume. I don't know that, but yeah, Rami Malek is in. There's a lot of people like.
It doesn't show him in the cast for it. We got Ella.
No.
Rubin,
He's in
Michael
the game.
Camino.
There's no way he's in the movie version.
We got David F. Sandberg directing.
Yeah, there's a few people. The young lady from Heroes is what I know her from. I can't remember her name either. I don't know why I'm blanking on names today. I'm usually pretty good at those. She is in the game version, so like all those people are probably aged out.
Yeah.
For this, but except for Peter Stormer, his character wasn't like a young person, But yeah, the game was really good, so I really enjoyed it. I hope the movie's good. I hope it's not, a bunch of bullshit, but I'd check it out.
So we've got The Ritual movie, which is a bit of an exorcist film, which stars Ashley Greene and Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, okay.
Directed by David Medell through XYZ Films. He's previously done The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain. So that'd be interesting too.
Al Pacino, I thought he had tapered off. That's good.
I just saw him a trailer for something he's going to be in.
Oh, sweet.
So beyond just that, so he may have tapered off, and these may be things that are coming out that have previously been shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's old as fuck, if I'm
I've got
if I remember correctly, right?
Lilo and Stitch live action film coming out.
I'm not familiar.
Not familiar with Lilo and Stitch? It's a Disney cartoon about a
that's
blue
what I mean.
alien.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have caught that one.
The Karate Kid Legends film out later in May.
I haven't finished
Is that the
Cobra
one-
Kai yet.
Is that the one that they're gonna have Jackie Chan in?
Yeah, I think it's like crossover
Yeah.
between.
Merging those universes.
Yeah. But I haven't finished Cobra Kai. I know this probably doesn't have anything to do with Cobra Kai specifically, but
I would imagine they'd probably make some allusions to it because the only reason that it's so successful right now is that show.
yeah.
I mean, 100% Cobra Kai reignited
Have you
the
finished it?
flame. No, I only started the very beginning of it, and I don't know what happened, but I never got through it.
Yeah, I trailed off of it too. It kind of turned into a way different show. Like after a few seasons, well, because like originally it was on like YouTube Red or whatever for like when it started, and then it moved over to Netflix, and then I think, I mean, I like it. I'm gonna finish it for sure, but I just don't know when.
Yeah, I definitely want to as well. I'll have a reason one day, and we'll hit it. Maybe we'll do a series spotlight one day. Further things coming out down in June 13th. Something that me and my family are interested in is the live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. I heard the original visual creator of the series, or not the series, the original animated film, said that he was brought on to make sure that this felt the same, looked the same, and there's a lot of pivotal moments in that original animated film that they shot, one for one, the exact same framing to try and, hold that old magic together.
Yeah.
And it looks good. I really liked those, watching them with my kids growing up. Other things, 28 years later.
That's one big one for me.
Return to the franchise.
Yeah.
This was 28 days later, had to have come out when I was in high school.
Like 2001 or something, or 2002 or something.
Was it really that long ago? Man.
That could be could be total bullshit.
I was
It could
thinking
have been-
like 07, 08.
and it could be that. I completely made that up.
Because if we're talking 28 or 2001, then
I don't know if that's true or not. That's just from memory.
2002, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Filmed 2002, released in 2003, so I was
Wee little lad.
I was in middle school.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I didn't see it at the theaters, but I saw it like shortly after it was released, and I really liked it a lot. It was a great. I mean, this is pre any other thing. This was like a real like
These were
injection into the zombie thing.
Our introduction to the mainstream running zombies.
Yeah, this was like a real like shot of adrenaline to the zombie movie because I mean,
We didn't have a mainstream zombie film where they ran before this.
Well, you just didn't really have a mainstream zombie film at all. I mean, they had kind of like tapered.
That's
They
true.
had tapered off. You know what I mean? Like that shit was kind of dead, and that pre Walking Dead, pre
this is
all
true
this.
because Romero's films that were coming out around that point. What did he do?
Well, and even Land of the Dead, I don't think that came out till like 2005 or something or 2006.
And that didn't do very well on.
So like this was really like a shot of adrenaline to the zombie movie, and it was done really well, and it was other things copied it afterwards. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go back and do a double feature for 28 days and 28 weeks.
I'd like to as well.
Before 28 years comes out because it has been too long since I've seen it.
Ages.
But I loved it. Brendan Gleeson, who I love. Cillian Murphy, I love. Tandy Newton is great. I mean, there's a lot of people in 28 Days Later that absolutely rule.
Oh, if we're talking about people we love from 28 Days Later, what was his character? Major West? Played by Christopher Eccleston?
Oh, yeah. Christopher Eccleston.
Major
rules.
Henry West. Yeah, there it is. Oh, man. I love Eccleston.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he's great.
love Eccleston.
And so, but the 28 years later, I mean, I want to say it was like Ray Fiennes or something, right? It's like Ray Fiennes and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, this is going to be a really good cast. I hope they bring Cillian back in a good way.
Well,
I know he's in there.
We got a brief glimpse of him in the trailer as a zombie.
I actually saw that's not him.
That's not him.
No.
Okay.
Some dude came out and was like, by the way, that's me. That's not him.
Oh, okay. So
It did look like him, though.
Do you think that was a creator's choice as to making him look like that as an homage, or
Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be. And, the guy didn't even say...
It's not supposed to be him.
Right. Maybe that's not the case, but I remember that was the big brouhaha about that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then that guy came out, I was like, no.
That's me.
That's me doing that. That is not Cillian Murphy.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't supposed to be that character. I don't know. There's no way to know.
Absolutely.
But I just hope that they use him well. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure it will. It's Danny Boyle. I mean, you're not gonna. I'm excited to see it. I think it's gonna be good. And Garland, I think, wrote the script for this one too. So I think that's a good.
It's gonna, yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go see it in the theater for sure.
I'm gonna pivot here a little bit, and I want to just briefly touch on 3 major studio big budget films coming out later this year.
Okay.
That I'm actually interested in seeing.
Okay.
All coming out in July. Jurassic World Rebirth by Universal Pictures.
Okay.
Superman, Warner Brothers.
Yep.
Fantastic Four, The First Steps, Marvel. All 3 of those I feel like have potential
Sure.
to reignite the flame behind those separate franchises and gain some momentum going forward into a new era for these projects. And I feel like all of these studios have learned what not to do.
Yeah.
The amount of oversaturation they've had. You've seen, like, a lot of these studios pull back on the amount of things they're going to be releasing over the next several years so they can make these releases a little bit more special.
Yeah.
And I feel like, fingers crossed, we're getting less money producers involved in the creativity and leaving the work to the actual artists.
I hope so too. I'm not really interested in those Jurassic Park movies. I would check it out. I'm not saying they're shitty or anything either. I'm not even shitting on them.
Have you seen any of the Chris Pratt ones?
I saw the first Chris Pratt one, and then I didn't even hate it. I liked it. I thought it was good, but I just didn't
bother with the next one.
And I would, but Superman, I'm gonna definitely give 100%. And I alluded to it earlier.
This is not only a franchise reboot. This is a cinematic universe reboot.
Yeah. Well, but it goes back to what I was saying earlier. James Gunn, the big thing with him is he said, hey, we're not greenlighting anything until we have a script that is completed that we like. Then we will do it. So whether the movie, good, bad, or indifferent, I can live with that part. But, like, it is exciting to me that hopefully that he stays true to that because at very least they're not doing this by committee bullshit. And with that in tow, I am hoping, to your point, that Marvel has learned that from a lot of their misses that they've had of late. I'm hoping they do that. Hey, man, let's bring some creative people in here and let's give them some room to fucking cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, it's gonna pan out for the best if you do that. Like, yeah, of course, you can't guarantee 100% something's gonna hit. You know, it's like Superman. But I'm gonna go into it with an honest, clear mind, and I want it to be good. It's not like I want it to be shitty, but I'm going to give it an honest to goodness. Even with Fantastic Four, I'm going to do the same thing.
Absolutely. And
Marvel has just been shitty about, like, they've had a lot of misses that were just bad.
And I don't think any studios had luck on having success with the Fantastic Four franchise, period. I mean, if you go back the last 33 years, I know I talk about them
I
a
just
lot.
mean Marvel in general. They suck recently.
Well, so I know I talk about them a lot, but Roger Corman did a Fantastic Four film in the early 90s, which was never finished, never released. You can find bootlegs. I've got one.
Yeah.
That was specifically a ploy to keep the rights. The studio never had any intention on releasing that film. They knew Corman could make something cheap, and that would keep their rights intact.
Yeah.
And then they literally tried 4 times over the last 33 years with that franchise, and I don't think it's ever worked out. Maybe this will be the time.
Yeah. No, it's a potential. They got good actors. I just hope that Marvel is learning their lesson on that.
Absolutely.
And hopefully they'll course correct. And it seems like they are. I really do believe that, and I hope so.
So a few other things coming out towards the end of the year. We've got a remake of The Naked Gun through Paramount Pictures.
Which I'd like to see.
We've got The Toxic Avenger.
That's a must-see.
Through Cineverse, actually.
Yeah, and I've heard about that. They shot that movie like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been
and it never got released.
Long time coming on that one.
Yeah, so I'm going to check it out.
Saw 11 through Lionsgate. I've never been a big fan of that franchise, but
I'm not either.
I've heard a ton of people tell me I should give some of them another chance. That there's actual pretty artistic ones out there.
Yeah. I've got a buddy that loves them. I think I lost interest around like maybe the third one. The first one really good. I liked it, and I ended up seeing the second one for sure. I saw that in the theaters, but I think maybe around the third one I kind of lost interest and I wasn't worried about it anymore.
So we've got Mortal Kombat 2 through Warner Brothers coming out in October.
I'd like to check it out. I didn't hate the first one.
I didn't either. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein at the end of November. We've already spoken about that. Definitely going to look that, but that won't be in theaters. That'll only be on Netflix. So that's going to be home viewing.
That's good for me.
Me too.
I'm lazy and I'm also socially anxious.
Oh, yeah. The couch is way more comfortable than those chairs.
Yeah. Well, and I can pause to take a piss break because I'm old and I have to.
Unfortunately, looks like there's going to be another Wicked film next year, or this year. Another Five Nights at Freddy's. Another Avatar, Fire and Ash. SpongeBob movie. Anaconda movie. A bunch of to-be-announced movies that are projected for 2025, such as In the Gray, Golden, Horizon the American Saga, Chapter 2, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, wow, they're doing a remake of that, too, huh? Oh, shit.
Tons of other stuff. Things that have already come out. You got, like your Sonic the Hedgehogs, your Brave the Dark, Inheritance, Into the Deep, Between Borders. Moana 2 just came out, and that apparently did really good at the box office. I might be wrong. I don't know. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, not the band. There's so many good things. Companion, you were mentioning, also looked like something good. That's already come out. Dogman's already come out. There's Becoming Led Zeppelin is a documentary that I heard was actually really good as well. So there's so many things that are on the table for this year, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's tons of series, tons of movies that aren't listed here, and we just can't wait to watch them and share our opinions with you.
Tons of stuff that hasn't even been announced yet.
Let us know if this format works for you, if there's anyone out there listening.
It works for me.
Let us know what you like, what you don't like about the podcast. Give us your opinions. Give us your feedbacks. Follow us on socials that we might have by then for you to follow us. I don't know. This is literally our fourth attempt to make a podcast. This is our third one that we're actually keeping because we eliminated one for various reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope other people are too.
Yeah, me too. And the monkey was great. It was a really good watch.
Also was Nosferatu, which we started out this podcast with.
Yeah, so you got a twofer, really.
A twofer.
You're welcome. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've liked this bundle deal, we'll keep on bundling it for you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And here at the Copeland Womack podcast studios, we hope you have a fucking good night.